The late afternoon sunbathed the small, suburban street in gold, the kind of warmth that usually made people roll down their windows and smile at strangers. But for Officer Emily Harris, this day was different. She had already ridden 6 tickets, broken up a minor fender bender, and was just about ready to call it a day when a beat-up green pickup truck sped through a stop sign at the corner of Maple and Pine. She sighed, hit her siren, and pulled the vehicle over. Inside sat a man with a rugged face, wearing a faded green work shirt and eyes that told stories of sleepless nights. Beside him in the back seat sat a little girl with golden pigtails, clutching a stuffed rabbit that looked like it had seen better days. Emily adjusted her cap and approached. "Good afternoon, sir. License and registration, please." The man looked embarrassed as he fumbled through the glove box. "Yes, officer. Sorry. I was just trying to get my daughter home before dinner. Do you know you ran a stop sign back there?" Emily asked firmly. He sighed, glancing back at the child. "Yes, I'm sorry. I just wasn't paying enough attention." Emily noticed his hands shaking slightly as he passed her the documents. His fingernails were rough, his palms calloused, the hands of a man who worked hard for a living. "Mr. Miller," she said after checking his ID. "You're aware that's a serious violation, right?" He nodded silently. The little girl leaned forward between the seats. "Daddy didn't mean to, officer. He's just tired." Emily's stern face softened for a moment. She crouched slightly to meet the girl's eyes. "What's your name, sweetheart?" "Lily," the girl said with a shy smile. "Daddy's taking me home. We made cookies for my mommy." That sentence hit Emily harder than she expected. "Mommy," she repeated softly. "That's nice." She looked back at the man, Daniel Miller, and noticed a silver wedding band still on his ring finger. Something about it seemed off. The metal was dulled, as if it hadn't been taken off in years. Emily straightened up and started writing the ticket. "All right, sir. I'm issuing a citation for failure to stop. You'll need to appear." "But," Daniel's voice broke through, quiet and apologetic. "Officer, could you give me a warning instead? Please. I just can't afford another fine right now." His words weren't angry. They were desperate. Emily hesitated. She had heard excuses before, but this one carried weight. "I'm sorry," she said softly, continuing to write. "I can't." That's when she heard Lily again whispering from the back seat. "Daddy still wears his ring. Even though Mommy's in heaven." Emily froze mid-sentence. Her pen stopped moving. She looked up slowly. Daniel's eyes were lowered, his jaw tight. He wasn't going to say anything. He didn't need to. The truth was right there, shining in the sunlight off that worn silver band. Suddenly, the words she was about to say changed completely. "If you weren't married," she began, then caught herself, her throat tightening. "I mean," he looked up, giving a weak, tired smile. "It's okay, officer. You can say it. She's been gone 2 years now." Emily didn't know what to say. She had been through her own heartbreak, a divorce that left her cautious, walled off from feeling too much. But this man's quiet sorrow pierced through her armor. "I'm sorry," she finally whispered. He nodded, staring at the ticket in her hand. "She was my high school sweetheart. Cancer took her fast. Lily was only 4. He smiled at his daughter in the rearview mirror. "Now it's just us. I'm doing my best." Emily looked at the little girl, at her hopeful smile, her innocence, and then back at the tired father who clearly carried the weight of 2 hearts on his shoulders. Something in Emily shifted. "You know what?" she said, folding the ticket. "I think we can make this a warning. But please drive carefully, Mr. Miller. Lily needs you." He blinked in surprise, gratitude flooding his expression. "Thank you, officer." "Really?" Emily smiled faintly. "Just Emily," she said softly. A week later, Emily couldn't shake the encounter. She found herself thinking about Daniel and his daughter more than she wanted to admit. The way he had smiled at Lily, the love in his eyes. It reminded her of what she'd been missing. Real connection. Then one evening while off duty, she stopped by the local park. Lily was playing on the swings, her laughter echoing across the field. Daniel was sitting nearby on a bench, watching with the same quiet devotion. Officer Harris, he said when he noticed her. Daniel, she replied, smiling, still running stop signs. He chuckled. No, lesson learned. They talked for hours that evening about life, loss, and how hard it was to keep going when the person you loved most was gone. Emily found herself opening up, telling him about her failed marriage, how the job had made her forget what happiness felt like. Daniel listened, really listened. It had been years since anyone had done that for her. As weeks turned into months, they started seeing each other more often. Coffee at the diner, walks in the park with Lily. Daniel never rushed things. He still wore his ring. And Emily respected that. Some love, she realized, doesn't end. It just changes shape. Then one evening, as the three of them watched the sunset over the lake, Lily reached out and took Emily's hand. Daddy, she said with a grin, can Officer Emily come to my birthday? Daniel looked at Emily, his eyes soft. I think she'd love that. Emily smiled, her heart finally feeling whole again. I'd be honored, sweetheart. As the sky turned orange and pink, Daniel took a deep breath and slipped the silver ring from his finger, holding it for a moment before placing it gently into his pocket. It's time, he whispered. Emily didn't say anything. She just took his hand. Months later, Emily, Daniel, and Lily stood together in front of a little white house with a garden full of daisies. It wasn't about replacing anyone. It was about healing, about love finding its way back through pain. And as Lily ran across the yard, laughing, Emily looked at Daniel. And this time when she said, if you weren't married, she finished the sentence with a smile. I'd still have fallen for you. Anyway. Moral, sometimes love doesn't come when life is perfect. It comes when two broken hearts find the courage to heal.